Now, falling off is something that many people fear. It's a phrase people say when your career is going downhill and you weren't as good as you once were. And for a rapper, it's damn near impossible to get rid of those wash allegations. People say you fell off, you might start looking for new places of employment, or even go harder. But in this video, we're gonna go over artists that have totally fell off the planet Earth. It's at the point when you hear their name, it seems like an old urban legend. It's the type of artist where you look back at their Spotify account and say, what really went wrong? Like, I could have sworn you're a big dog in this scene. For some of these artists, you can generally admit that they made some classics. And some of these artists, you're actually complex at how you thought this was tough. Also, like the video, sub up, I got a family to feed, but we're gonna begin. The first person I want to talk about is Lousy. Yes, Lousy. Which he was a pretty big pluggnb artist, or pluggnb, how we would call it. But if you don't recognize it by my description, you'll recognize it by the lyrics that I know to the fullest amount. So yeah, that one song's like, I'm in the hotel like, oh yeah, like, oh yeah. I'm gonna just play the song before you guys start clowning me and shit. Which a lot of people say that he's pretty innovative because he made a new subgenre called pluggnb. But let's really be honest, pluggnb is just pluggnb in a different font. They're not that much different at all. Well, I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's a bad artist. He was a pretty decent artist back in 2022. But keep in mind I said in 2022 because that's the last time I heard of bro. And it's sad to see that he's barely mentioned anymore because at the time people were comparing him to Summrs and Autumn. Which you're probably curious of what he makes now, which he just makes R&B music. He's just nowhere near as he once was. And I think what really made him fall off is that he just stuck with this one sound, and this sound got overplayed pretty fast in 2022. So it's pretty much a lack of evolution with this artist that really led to his downfall. But let me know what you guys think about Lousy. Was he good? Was he bad? Like, what's your thoughts on him? Now, the next person I gotta talk about is gonna be Slump Success. Okay, I thought he would be way bigger by now. If you guys don't know, he was a big part in Anti-Social, which is a really popular song back in 2021. Which he had one of the best verses on these two songs. And to be honest, when this dropped, I thought every member on Anti-Social was on their way to success and really blow up. But it seems like the only relevant name is Tana. Which the reason I think Tana blew up more than Slump, that he was way more diverse compared to Slump, which Slump was only really doing like rage type songs and beats, while Tana can really hop on any beat and really make it sound good. But this is really just another artist with just lack of evolution, which led to his downfall. But next person is going to be Axe Terrell. Now at a point, if you're on TikTok around 2020 to 2022, this guy was unavoidable. You would hear body parts in this other song everywhere. And him and Jules Set is really the founder of this devil gimmick that all these artists are doing now. But he's been doing this gimmick since 2018, 2019. I think the main reason why it fell off is, again, this sound slowly died. And the music he was dropping in 2019 and 2020 is just so much better than the music he's dropping now, which is a big factor. And even now he has a better effect. Some of his music from 2019 is still trending on TikTok, but the music he makes now is nowhere to be seen. But let me know what you guys think about, Axe Terrell. But now we're gonna talk about Can. Now at the time, he was one of the best underground rappers in the whole scene. He was especially known for his most popular song, Woke Up and None to Me. Yeah, woke up sipping and walk. Yeah, he sipping on fake drugs. Hey, running around in magazine. With Woke Up having over 100 million plays, with even having a feature with Ye when he was popping. Now you might be asking me, what can possibly go wrong? He's already doing so well right now with his music. Which I would say after 2022, this is when this guy barely started dropping music. Like, I cannot make this up. In 2023, he does not drop any music at all. The only sort of music we get from him during this year is one feature. And then in 2024, he drops about 2 singles and an EP, but it's fair to say the momentum he had in the past is gone. And you can really tell that he lost his hunger after the year 2022. But he was mainly focusing on his family, and he had his clothing brand at the time, which is why I think he slowed down with his music over the past couple years. But I definitely think he could have been as big as Summrs and Autumn if he just kept that momentum and kept, dropping songs. But he did drop a little EP a couple of days ago. People saying, he's washed. Some people saying he's making a comeback. But Let me know. All I know, this is the longest project he made in the past like 3 years. Now, a lot of people are gonna hate when I say this, but I gotta say Jades. But looking at his past, he had a pretty crazy run within 2021 to 2023, with dropping amazing projects over these years. I even like Bipolar, which he dropped in 2024. But after this is where I say he pretty much started to fall off. Well, especially for me at least. Which in the same year he drops Count of Dracula, which it had some good tracks, but a lot of it I just kind of skipped over. I didn't really like it, which at the time a lot of his fans also did not like this album at all, which the major problem was a lot of people missed his old sound, which he already confirmed in an interview that he's never going back to that old sound again.
I'm all up, but now I'm like really locked in on one wave of music, you know, like 80s, 90s punk, like real like hardcore shit. Shout out Gigi Allen.
Legend. Real sicko.
But in this clip, he was basically explaining how he's more into rock music now currently, and he's not really going back to his old sound. And as expected, some of his fans did not like this at all. What really put the nail in the coffin was the news of him trying to stab his ex-girlfriend, which is still an ongoing court case, which I think he's still in jail. Which, even if he does beat the case, I don't think he'll be anywhere near as much fame as he had back in 2022, 2023, especially going with the sound he's doing now. And while he's on the run, he did drop this EP, which I'm gonna say myself, this was not a good project. But I'm gonna play the first song. I'm gonna let you guys have your own thoughts. And surprisingly, the comments were pretty wishy-washy about this album. There's a lot of people saying this is his best music so far, and there's some people saying this is the worst thing that ever graced their ears. But just like how I said from the start, even if he does come back from music and he does beat the case, majority of his fan base is probably not gonna like his newer music. And a lot of his fan base was already saying he was falling off the time he dropped Count of Dracula. But before I end this video, I'm gonna talk about one more artist that really fell off the planet Earth. And that's gonna be Cash Dami. Now, out of all these artists, Cash Dami probably fell off the hardest. And if you guys don't know him, he was one of the biggest artists back in 2021, and he dropped the classic Reparations, which this music video is sitting at about 6.6 million views. Which around this time, he also had another underground classic, 14 with Tana, which this song went crazy, and this has over 12 million views just on YouTube. You know, it's fair to say 2021 was definitely Cash Dami's prime. But now 4 years later, he is nowhere to be seen. Matter of fact, he has not dropped an album or a song this whole year. And anytime he does post anything, everyone's just saying that he fell off. To me at least, anyone mentioning Cash Dami in the Big 25, it just reminds me of this picture right here. But that will pretty much wrap up this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and sub. You know, check out my other videos. I'll talk about other underground and music topics, but that's all I gotta say. Also, we're so close to 2K. We need to hit that soon. But I'm gone.
You're natural to making me look stupid for you. 'Cause even after all you put me through, I still adore you.